Good day to you.
Good day to you, Ethium.
How are you doing this evening of your time?
We are doing fantastically well. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
Perfect.
It's very kind of you to come and be speaking with us. Before we start, is there anything about the channel that we need to know?
With the addition of the raw vibration into the frequency of the channel's body, there is an addition of the idea of unity into the particular frequencies and the transmissions that we bring forward and through the channel. The idea is to integrate the idea of that particular vibration integrates you and all that are around you. So from here on out, we will integrate with partially the idea of Ra and the law of one into our teaching, as we will add the particular vibrations of the different beings that will be added into this particular channeling, which will help move the connection and the message forward.
Thank you. That's really good. Ethan,
Do you have questions for us?
I do. If you give the Earth planetary geopolitical vibe a scan, what could you tell us?
You are going through a period currently through the idea of rapids if you were going down a river, but you are reaching the end of those rapids. In time space, it may take you 6 months, it may take you another year, but you energetically have reached the point where you are ultimately going to see less of these types of rapids, but for the time being, you are still in the rapids. But remember, as you flow down the river, you can navigate. You can allow yourself to flow on the path of ease and least resistance. But that is the idea of what you are going through right now. You have many paths, but being able to view these particular paths in a neutral way, whether they have rapids, such as war and geopolitical problems, as you refer to them.
Yes.
These are part of the river. These are part of the experience. These are part of the idea of elevation of you as a people, as a planet, moving forward.
Right, because the war experience gives us the perspective of not wanting war. I wouldn't know what wanting peace is unless I experience the opposite of it. Is that correct?
Yes, it is the idea of contrast.
Right. Okay, great.
It is the idea that you are being given a chance to decide whether or not you truly want a world of peace or you want a world of war. A war between everyone on your planet.
That's right.
However, you have moved far along enough in the process energetically over the years where the idea of nuclear war is no longer even a factor. If something like that were to even be initiated, even remotely, we would step in and stop that particular event from ever happening.
You would?
Yes. Remember, that level of energy, that level of detonation, explosion, affects more than just you. It affects more than just your planet. It affects many other realities because it is releasing enough energy that it could rupture travel. It could rupture into different levels of reality.
What would be the type of interruption?
The idea of the thermonuclear warhead that would completely irradiate and release megatons and gigatons worth of energy into the universe that would rip holes in your reality and into other ones. Or you may bring into your reality things that you would not understand or be able to handle.
And how would you perform this interruption? This stop this from happening? If indeed a missile with a nuclear bomb launched.
we would, and very easily, find the nuke, the bomb that you might be launching or think about launching, and we would scramble the codes instantly. We would make the bombs themselves inert and cause them to be unusable.
I see. Would you interrupt with the actual missile itself too, with the trajectory?
Yes,
Okay. I
we
believe
would
it was
make these kind of weapons unusable.
right.
That is why you have not seen that type of warfare happen.
Are governments in a know that if they try to launch a nuclear weapon, you would interfere?
Yes, they have been informed many years ago.
Right.
There are videos of craft over silos where afterwards those particular nuclear weapons were not usable anymore.
Yes, I heard of those. Yes. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yes, because it would affect more than just you or any other one on your planet. It would affect into other realities. So therefore, because it would affect way more than just you as a people, we would need to step in.
I see. Okay. Thank you. I hope we don't get there. Thank you if we have to.
No,
No, I don't believe we'll get there. I had a conversation with someone today, and the person I was speaking with was showing some scare of imminent population reduction, starting with the least healthy people, obese, elderly, and so on and so forth. I've known we discussed this before, but for the sake of people seeing this first time, what can you tell about the population decreasing and the reasons for it?
the decrease that you are seeing starting to occur on your planet amongst your population is one of several things. As you are maneuvering and shifting through into higher frequencies, those beings that choose not to match the vibration of your people will not shift into the higher frequencies, the higher densities of Earth, into fourth density. They'll be left into the lower vibrational worlds that will destroy themselves.
Thank you. Does that mean that someone who is in a lower density, do their reality continues or their reality stops as they die?
Their reality stops as they die. Their version of Earth, because they are no longer inhabiting that particular vibration, it moves back into the background. But you will always see a world of fear if that's what you maintain inside of you.
Right.
This is why we say to you when we speak to come from more of a neutral place, to neutralize the fear, neutralize the hatred, neutralize it being one way or another.
What's the difference between coming from a neutral place versus the opposite of fear, embracing all of the experience with enthusiasm?
The idea of neutrality is that which one that will neutralize the idea of anger, fear, hatred, destruction. Whereas when you fully embrace those things, it's more of the idea of integration. It is one of being able to embrace those parts of yourself and allowing yourself to fully know that everything in your life is part of you and you are part of it in many different forms. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but it is an aspect of you. So you are, in a way, allowing yourself to become more collective. Whereas the idea of the neutrality happens automatically because you know that these things are just part of you. That you know that everything in your life is a neutral prop, so you do not need to hold on to any of it.
I see. Thank you. That's really good. When earlier you said 6 to 12 months, you mean by that the wars we see will subside and we'll start moving towards solutions?
Yes, the type of energy that is maintained within these particular conflicts cannot maintain for a long period of time because you are shifting up your frequency. They cannot maintain the particular energy that sustains these particular conflicts on your planet.
I see. And I guess one of our earlier conversations, you mentioned that about 10% is required to shift, to help the rest of the population to make a shift.
Yes,
How closer are we to that 10%?
you are still approaching that particular threshold.
Are we making any?
You will know it quite rapidly when it happens. You are starting to see possibilities. You are starting to see the awakening of reaching that threshold, because the idea of UFOs, UAPs are becoming part of the dialogue around your world, where it is becoming more and more common. The people that were holding the secrets are no longer holding the secrets, and they're allowing more of this information to leak out, where disclosure and then open contact at a point in the future.
When can we see more sightings on viewed by larger groups of people?
Well, you will have in your new year a very, very large, big sighting that cannot be denied.
Okay, and by big you mean how many crafts?
One, but it will be done in such a way that it cannot be denied.
I see. In which part of the planet?
That is yet to be decided, but it will be in a place where they cannot hide it.
I mean, most people with today they have a camera on their cell phone, so really, like anywhere you go, you'll be photographed immediately by many people, right?
Yes, but we will only show ourselves when it's safe for us and you.
I see. I see.
This is the process. This is the way we have learned to do things. Because you are being confronted by beings on a mass scale. And from this point of view, as we have seen this many times before, if you do not gradually or being shown a way to show yourself in such a way that when people are ready for it, it does not end well.
I see what you mean. You say
Yeah.
beings on mass scale. What beings are those? What beings are you referring to here?
Beings on your planet,
Humans or not non-humans?
humans. The ones that are not humans are more already used to the idea of ships, because many of them have been on ships and have their own ships for themselves.
Okay, okay. I get you. All right, thank you, Ethan. Thank you very much for this. Um,
Yeah.
it does give me hope.
This is all part of the process that you have been going through for 40 of your years since the Bashar has started coming through the channel. Daryl?
Yes.
because you are open to the idea of open contact, there are many versions of Earth that we no longer contact. Many versions and many realities where they have no longer have contact with us, and they no longer have the information that you have, because you have, in your reality on this version of Earth, reached the point where it is becoming obvious. It is becoming so obvious that it can no longer be denied.
Very smart. I see what you mean. And you did mention one of the very first, or maybe the first time we ever spoke, that disclosure will be in such way that it cannot be denied because too many people see it at the same time.
Yes. This is the point.
That is the point. Thank you. Ethium,
But this is the process. This is the process that you've been going through for many years of your time. And this is the process that we have gone through many times on many worlds with many different types of people that don't even resemble humans.
Right. What's the deal with Mount Shasta?
Mount Shasta is your crown chakra of your planet. It has many doorways around that particular location into underground locations, and also doorways into other realities and higher dimensional spaces.
Can these doorways be used by humans, or you have to have a certain vibration or technology to use those?
Technology / certain vibration high enough that you can perceive the doorways themselves. Because if you can't perceive them, you have no clue where they're at.
Right. Okay. The channel and I were wondering if you could bring in Malchitzedek for us.
Of course.
Thank you.
One moment. We will facilitate the connection. With a heavy heart, we grant you our connection.
Thank you. Hello.
Yes.
Please identify yourself for us.
We are the idea of the Malchitzedek frequency.
Thank you for coming through. Why did you say with a heavy heart?
More the idea of the channel has lost his way in times past, has lost our frequency, and has become only recently familiar to us.
I see. What could you tell me about your energy, frequency, vibe, please?
We are more closely related to the idea of the collective consciousness of the planet. We are on high. We are closer to the idea of the Christ consciousness of your planet, of this place, of your people.
Thank you.
We bring you messages and information to help you to move to the higher space and the upper room.
Upper room?
The upper space, the fourth density.
I see. Thank you. were you or parts of the souls in this group were ever incarnated on Earth as humans?
We have been in times past.
Okay. Is there any relation between this Melchizedek I'm speaking with now and the Melchizedek mentioned in the Bible?
Those who take on the mantle of Melchizedek are those who are connected to our energy, those who are connected to our way of being, our thinking, our thought process, our vibration.
I understand. Thank you. So Melchizedek understood your vibration and was connected to you.
Yes.
Right. Melchizedek, what do you think humans need most these days? How can they be helped the most?
By being willing to look at those things that you fear, by being willing to let go of the things you fear, and hold on to only that which serves you in every moment.
Right. There's great fear associated here in the physical realm with one's own survival, money, monetary things, possessions. Perhaps one's quality of life could be better, even just temporarily, without some possessions, but many are refusing to let go in order to try and bring on a whole other perspective of life. What could be told to them, please?
The mindset that you are moving from and to are diametrically opposed in every moment. The idea of third density is that which is more about survival. As you switch to the higher space, the upper room, you are coming from a place of pure abundance and a pure understanding that you are one with the reality that you exist in.
That is a beautiful way of saying that. Thank you.
Because you are shifting from lower vibration, many of those thought processes still maintain and still connect into your world, into your reality. To let go of that way of thinking is to allow yourself to shift into the upper room and allow yourself to be in that space.
Thank you. What would be a good way, daily exercise, to shift more and more into this space until I'm always in that vibration?
By allowing yourself to remember the idea and the frequency that we share to you today. Know that you are the reality, you are the energy, that you are all that is. All of the space, all the space that you can see, all the space that you cannot see. You are in the upper room. You are the space that you exist in. You are not separate from it. You are not separate from your brother. You are not separate from your sister. You are not separate from the person that you meet on the street. You see all around you as holy because you are holy in nature and experience.
Thank you very much for this.
See the world in abundance.
Yes.
Act as if and know that it is.
Yes, absolutely. I've heard the last few days. I've heard something about the difficulty in a third density, where we now, I guess, to be able to have faith. That is the greatest exercise of all in this time space. Would you agree to that?
Go beyond faith. Go to the state of knowing. Go to the state where you don't need to reaffirm
I see.
the idea of wholeness.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much.
If you have faith, that comes from a state of hope, and that also is from a state of not having. Whereas if you exist in the state of being pure and knowing and live in that existence, that way of being, you will not need to have faith.
Right. Thank you very much for that. With respect to the wars we have going on now, Ukraine is less talked about now, and the Israel Gaza is more in the spotlight right now. Can we expect a future with no more war?
In the upper room, these things are not possible. In the upper room, you are and see everything as God is. Only the things of your level, of your vibration, of your frequency in your world at this time are able to maintain the idea of this sort of connection.
Yes.
As a collective, you are connected to the idea of war.
Right. It seemed that a lot of people want the end of war and want to be free to speak to each other and travel wherever they wish without any regulations and all kinds of problems. But it seems that there's just not enough of them. I guess if there's enough of people that want this freedom and end all wars, wars will just stop. But I guess there's just not enough. How can we ensure, or how many people do we need to make that change in order so we can finally see it?
Understand that you are shifting through the age of growth, of integration, that allows you to speak with one voice, one understanding that you wish to live in a world with no war. For these things cannot be spoken of or lived in experience in the upper room.
Is the upper room one voice?
Yes, it is one note. It is one song that everyone sings together.
Okay, I see. So to be fully in the upper room, it means to reach the understanding of one voice, which also means to let go of a lot of ego, fear, guilt, shame, all the things that usually we drag around down here. So I guess we've got
Yes,
yeah. So I guess we've got a bit of work to do still.
yes.
I believe that I see that more and more people wish for peace and for understanding of themselves and all there is. Do you sense that more and more people are moving to the light these days?
This is the idea of the ascension. This is the idea of the raising of consciousness to the higher level, to the higher state.
Do you find that our rate of ascending, or the rate of the amount of people adding themselves to this vibration, is enough to reach a tipping point at some point?
You are reaching a point soon. It is not far away in reality. In the illusion of time and space, it seems to take on and take a while to reach. You are not far off vibrationally.
Thank you. That's very comforting. It's hard to know what to expect, even by trying to think like I'm on top of the hill or top of the mountain. Um, I could still see quite a few various options, timelines of how things can move. I hope they move in the right direction, and more people.
Do not hope. No.
No. Okay, I absolutely. I absolutely know that we're going to reach that point pretty soon.
Know that you have reached that point. In all areas of your life, hoping and not knowing are coming from a state of lack.
Right.
For when you know you are in the upper room, you are coming from a higher vibration that can be carried with you at all times, where you only see the true state and the true path that you need to take in all endeavors in your life with all relationships. Your higher mind, your higher self, is already in the upper room. To say you are in the upper room is that which allows you to know these things.
Very good. I got you. Thank you. Is there any message you'd like to give us and whomever is watching this video now or later?
Know that you belong in the upper room. All people, all places, those who choose to match the vibration and the frequency of the upper room will be there. It is your choice. We would not deny you the experience of having the process of moving to the upper room and living in such a space.
Anyone can go there?
Anyone who chooses to.
Right.
Know that there is a cascading effect when you reach a vibrational level as a collective where everyone has to move to the upper room to stay in accordance with each other.
Yeah, I see that. I was watching a lady channeler who channels the spirit of Jesus, or all that is, and that being informed us that soon there will be an event that will enable people to tap into all that is at will, and that many will be able to get there, for lack of better words, instantaneously, and then from that point they'll be able to tap into that whenever they like, and when they're there, time stops. Do you see such an event coming?
This is what it means to be in the upper room. This is what it means to have that connection. For when you are in the upper room, you know that God is. And you know that everyone around you is also that God is in everyone around you.
Thank you. That
When
particular
you no longer see yourself as separate, you cannot help but have compassion for all those that you encounter.
right. Thank you very much, Malchitzedek. We are complete for today.
Good day.
Good day.
One moment. This particular vibration will be added to the channels henceforth into our connection to you to help facilitate a more open connection to you and anyone else that wishes to match the vibration that we bring through the channel from here on out.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Ethan, when
Are there more questions for us?
a couple, please.
Yes.
Thank you. When you bring in Malchitzedek, how do you do it, and what is the experience for you?
It is soft. It is a gentle experience, much different than what the channel feels. We are acting as a connection for the channel to be able to experience the particular vibration because we are in a state in a place where we can connect to these particular vibrations much more easily than he is. So we facilitate the connections for him to be able to experience and become familiar with the particular vibration that goes with a particular collective.
I see. Thank you. So the channel's experience will be different than yours.
Yes, we are experiencing it at a much higher rate. We are giving him a taste so he can learn to become familiar with their particular vibration. So eventually he no longer needs to come through us particularly, but he can integrate those particular vibrations and understandings on how to connect to those beings and us and add it to his own particular vibration as he speaks to the people as he walks through the world.
Right. The uh, I read a book that was mentioning the Melchizedek, and I didn't get to speak with Melchizedek about that, but he mentioned the cube, the Metatron's cube, that it has to do with Melchizedek and the energy of forming various triangles into more and more complex shapes. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
The Metatron's cube is more of the idea densifying down to the idea of physical reality, into the physical experience. You are at a higher level, the outer ranges of the cube itself, but as you densify your energy, you become the center of the cube. But simultaneously, you are also the outer levels of the cube, where you are not quite as dense. It is that which you refer to as your Merkaba, the
Mhm.
vibration of your particular core frequency that you are.
So the Metatron cube is metaphorical.
Literal and metaphorical simultaneously.
Okay.
You understand the idea of a Merkaba?
Uh, let's say I do not, and you can explain it.
The idea of the Merkaba is that which is the energetic state that allows you to travel to different places. It maintains your consciousness, this experience of you as a person, into the greater whole of who you are as a person.
I see. I see. Yeah. The word in Hebrew for Merkabah is a chariot.
Yes,
I
it
see.
is that which allows you to travel the universe. When
Right.
you have developed your particular Merkaba, it will allow you to astral project to different worlds, different planes of existence, and carry your consciousness with you to those particular places. It is that which also allows you to eventually experience the idea of teleportation in your reality when you have a fully developed Merkaba.
Right.
But you also must reach a particular energetic state, vibrational level that allows you to travel in this way. It is not for everyone at this time, but eventually it will be a normal part of your world and your people.
Right. And by teleportation, do you mean the disappearing of my physical body here and reappearance in another place where I choose it to be?
Yes,
Right.
we do this all the time.
You do this all the time.
This is what allows us to travel the universe through the galaxies, through different realities. Because we understand the vibrational state that allows us to transport ourselves from one location to another with relative ease.
Right. And you do it with your vehicle, with the saucer, the craft you're in.
My ship, I can. I can also do it on my own. I do not necessarily require my ship to actually perform this activity.
Okay, okay. I didn't realize that. So you could essentially appear. Let's say you're in your ship right now, and you can appear in another place, and the ship will stay wherever it is. No.
The ships that we have are there for you. The ships are there because it's something easy for you to understand and something very large that is familiar to you in nature. It's something that you expect to see when you are encountering beings like us.
Mm.
Because if you were to see us in person, you wouldn't be able to handle it. It's much like the channel in front of you that you are speaking to is an intermediary step. He is a translation device that allows him to communicate different information to you and other people.
Right. You mentioned that your energy before. What is it exactly that um, a human would find problematic being around you physically?
We operate at such a high frequency. If you were to come in actual physical contact with us, it would essentially give you a psychotic break because we are operating at such a high frequency, a different level than you. It would burn you out. It would cause all parts of you that you have hidden from yourself to come to the surface because they're not integrated into who you are.
Okay.
This is why you on this planet have been going through this process for many years, because we are helping you move up frequency vibrationally to the point where you can eventually have contact with us.
Right. And to have contact, we have to be at peace with self and others.
Yes, but also you have to be at peace with yourself.
Yeah.
At most, self. The idea that it is unsettling to you, if the fear is hidden inside you in any way, shape, or form, it will be driven to the surface.
Right. Okay, thank you. You mentioned the ships are large. What kind of sizes are we looking at with all the crafts that are around the Earth right now?
Many of the ships that you see have multiple species in them.
Uh-huh.
There are some craft that you have actually been able to reverse engineer, but they are a lot more rudimentary than what our technology is currently. They do not quite completely understand how the technology works, so they are not able to completely reproduce the idea of our engines that allow us to travel the universe.
What size are the reverse engineered crafts?
They're not very large. They're more physical in nature. Many of our ships in nature are more interdimensional. You have the idea of Doctor Who, correct?
I'm not familiar with it. Sorry.
It is a science fiction series where he travels around in a police box. On the inside is much larger.
Right.
This is a representation to you and your people of what it is like to actually encounter one of our ships. When you see them in person, and you can only perceive the physical aspects of them, you do not perceive the interdimensional nature of our ships and our people, you miss most of what makes our ships actually work, because you are not in essence integrated and interdimensional yourself. You are not able to fully operate one of our ships.
Right. I did hear one of these shows. Someone gave evidence that he came to one of those ships, and on the
Yes.
inside it was one room after another. It was massive, and it could not have fit in what he saw from the outside.
Yes, because many of the ships themselves are interdimensional in nature, especially our ships. They are much larger than they look on the inside.
Right. The ships that you're going to show us to create that mass sighting, what are we going to experience? What kind of ship size or form?
We cannot say this at this time.
You can't. Okay.
You will know it when it arrives.
Okay. When those sightings happen, some people would still say, "Oh, that's a joke. That's some balloon, whatever it is." What's going to happen with these people who refuse to acknowledge that this is real?
They will shift away. They will move out of your life.
Right.
Eventually, the evidence will become so evidence, that eventually they will have to acknowledge it. Much in the same way that you have people holding on to an outdated belief in the idea of a flat earth. This has been proven for hundreds of your years that you live on a sphere.
The flat earth seems to be more popular these days for some reason.
Yes, because these old ideas are being brought to the surface.
I see.
It's bringing out those things that were hidden. This is what you are going through. This is the process. You cannot escape it.
Thank you. I never connected the flat earth to part of being the process of ascension, of getting rid of all these ideas that just do not fit.
Yes, the idea that we are bringing forward is the idea of updating your belief systems and the way you think of things. The world you live in, it reveals these ideas to you. You don't have to believe any of it, but just know that we are showing you possibility. If you do this, you'll get this experience.
Thank you. I've asked you this before, but I still and again see a lot of when I look at the clock, I see 100444222 more and more. I, I don't feel different in specific way, but the instances of these little signs are increasing. Why is that?
It is a synchronistic marker that you've given yourself that you are raising your vibration, that you are living in a state where you can actually exist more freely, more openly for who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
It's a marker.
It's a marker.
Yes.
Ethium, is there any before we conclude here? Is there any specific message you'd like to give us?
Know that even with the more choppy energy that you have been experiencing, you are on the path you need to for the ascension to fully happen. You are not running away. The negativity is not winning. You are right where you need to be to experience the life you want to experience. But understand that you must come and will integrate the idea of the neutral experience, the neutral attitude to all your experiences in your life.
Thank you very much for today and for all your wisdom sharing and bringing Malchitzedek for us.
Good day.
Good day. We are complete.